Hi, this is Sheila, and today I would like to share with you some tips on how to water your succulents. So, here we go. So that's why they don't like it that much. I don't like it either. So tip number one is that your succulents does not like to be watered very often. In fact, it's about once a week in the summer and hardly any in the winter, or probably about once or twice in the entire winter months, especially if you live in an area where it doesn't snow, like here in Brentwood, California. And if you have snow in the winter and you have to bring them indoors, once every 2 or 3 weeks is fine, depending on how high you set your thermostat and how strong your grow lights are. Okay, and if you want to hear it from them, why don't we ask them? Hi, Prashila, I watered you yesterday. Would you want to be watered today too? Who said that? No shower for me. Nope. Hey, Echeverria, I watered you yesterday. Do you want to be watered today too? Ask me again in about 10 days. Hey, Ayonyum, would you want to be watered today? I watered you yesterday. But that was just yesterday. Nope. Okay, tip number 2. When you see some leaves drying up from the base, but the middle part is plump and not wrinkled, then that is not because they lack water. They need to get rid of some of their leaves so that they can push forth roots and cups. If you are in doubt whether they need water or not, postpone watering for about 3 to 5 days more. One tool that helps a lot is the moisture meter. It's time to water them only about 5 days after the moisture meter reads 1 or dry everywhere in the pot. Let me show you how my moisture meter works. This pot received a good amount of rain last night, and let me show you how soaked they are. If you think this moisture meter helps, especially for beginners, do hit the like button and remember to share this video with your friends. And I also have a link in the description down below this video that you can tap in case you want to check out this moisture meter. Here's tip number 3 on how to water your succulents. Although misting is a great way to water your succulent leaf propagation since it is so convenient, do consider this. If you would mist your propagation with hard water, real soon you will see white hard water deposits on their leaves. Once you start seeing leaves sprouting on your leaf propagations and you want them to be perfect and without a spot, you might want to start using a syringe to avoid watering the tiny succulent leaves and direct water to the roots. This is also true for your grown succulents, which leads me to tip number 4, which is to avoid the leaves when watering your grown succulents. Watering the leaves directly could leave water stains. You may not be able to completely avoid it, but I suggest that you try your best if you want your beauties to be perfect, because if you would continuously water it this way, you would soon start seeing this, and this. I would use a garden hose and set it to the weakest drip, or use a syringe for this. In fact, Laura with Garden Answer would also use a syringe to water hers. And as always, today my message to you is that you can be a thermometer or a thermostat. So you can be a thermostat and change the temperature of your environment, or you can be a thermometer and just react to whatever life brings you. So you can be proactive and change your reality and create a life for yourself, or you can be just reacting to whatever life brings you. You have the ability to create the life that you want. So be proactive, go for it, create the life that you want for yourself. Change your temperature. Be a thermostat. Okay, we're back. So tip number 5, when it's time to water them, give them a good amount of soaking as long as their pot has drainage holes on them. They are properly soaked if the moisture meter reads about 6 to 10. I totally love my moisture meter, especially when I was just starting, because I was too scared to overwater at first that my succulents were looking so dry and they couldn't stand the heat. I thought that misting was enough water for them. It turned out that when it's time to water these succulents, getting them soaked is the way to go. Again, just make sure that there are drainage holes. I have a separate tip for watering succulent pots without drainage holes in a bit. Tip number 6 on how to water your succulents is to use rainwater. Rainwater does not have the harmful chemicals that make water hard, like calcium and magnesium. You can also use distilled water, but nothing beats rainwater. And this leads me to tip number 7. You can use pots and containers without drainage holes, but you have to use a bit of imagination to water your succulents with this. Because of gravity, water goes down to the bottom of your pot. No, don't fill up that pot! Here's my miniature succulent greenhouse to show you how water goes down. You have to make a guess as to how much water will go down and how much will evaporate. What you don't want to happen is that all the water that you're putting in the container will stay too long at the base. That will cause root rot. Which takes me to tip number 8, which is to be a weatherman. This one I learned the hard way. I have been growing succulents in these until I have put them out so that they can get some rain. And yes, indeed, they got some rain. I assumed that it will not rain through the night, but it did. And they got so drenched and the glass jar got so full. I had to repot them or else they would die. So since rain is the best water for them, please make sure that they have drainage holes. Or don't even take those pots without drainage holes out in the rain. Okay? And tip number 9 is how to water your succulent wreath arrangement. We would just put water in this wreath keeper and put about 3 sprigs of this succulent plant food and soak this succulent wreath for about 3 to 4 hours and let it drip after. I have the links of the materials that I use in all of my videos in the description down below in case you want to check them out. And that's even this wreath keeper and all the materials that I've used. And to add further value on how to water your succulents, I suggest that you use about 8 pumps of this succulent plant food per quart of water and use it every other watering to keep your succulents happy and healthy. Who said that? No shower for me. So before I go, I would like to remind you again that you can create your own reality by being proactive. So change the temperature of your environment. Be a thermostat. Be proactive. Change your life. Create the life that you want. And with enough will and action, you can do it. Thank you. This is Sheila again for Succulent Faith.